All right, let's talk about the monthly visit forms. There are actually 6 of them. Most of them have numbers: visit 1, visit 2, visit 3, visit 4, visit 5, and then the final visit. So these are the months, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this would be 6. And then these are the days, and you can see they're in 30-day increments. And the instructions or conventions for the first form, which is what we're going to look at, apply to all of the other forms. So remember we talked in Module 2 on CRF design about trying to reduce ambiguous data, and that one of the ways we could do that is to have a checkbox that tells you whether or not the patient came in for the visit. If you check no, then that's all you have to do. You go down and save the form. If you check, and then we know that this data is not missing, but the patient just simply didn't come in, and you'll never get this data. I'm going to check yes because we actually have data for this patient, and it actually came in on August 10th, 2014. The patient came in. I'm going to say that they had a negative pregnancy test, that they are still lactating. And then we're going to come down here to drug accountability. And this is where we say how many doses were dispensed at the last visit, which was the baseline visit, how many pills or doses were taken in the interim, and then how many pills or doses were missed. And see, we've got a reminder here that if more than 2 pills or doses were missed, the patient's now a protocol violator, they need to stop treatment, and that you should see the protocol for follow-up instructions. The other thing I did here, you'll see in a second, is I chose to do manual calculation here in this field instead of deriving. And if I was doing really good design, what I would do is derive the number of pills missed from the number of pills taken and the number dispensed. And instead, I chose to allow the site to manually calculate that. And in fact, I don't have constraints here to have only numeric text entered, so they could put in, or numeric information inserted, so they could put in free text like none missed. You'll see in your entry instructions we have a policy to enter terms like none missed or null or none as 0, because we can analyze 0. Next, we ask if the patient had any of our expected events or unexpected adverse events or con meds. So we do think patients might have breakthrough bleeding. That's one of the secondary outcome measures we're looking at. And so if they say they have breakthrough bleeding, we now have a little drop-down menu that we can look at, and it gives us a choice of severity of the bleeding. And in this case, this patient had simply irregular bleeding. We ask at every visit, we're going to ask, did they have a new adverse event, or did they have a change in a continuing adverse event? So in this case, the patient had no new adverse event or no changes. And then we ask if the patient had a new concomitant medication or a change in their concomitant medication since the last visit. And we're going to say in this case that yes, they did. If yes, we're supposed to, or the site's supposed to complete or update the con med form, and we'll get to that in a second. And now we're going to save our record and go to the next form.